Well, good morning. It is Saturday, October the 25th, and we are back live with Table Talking with Ian Menifee. It is yours truly. What seems like a damn eternity since we all got to sit down and shoot the breeze. One thing I'll say for sure, 2025 has been, it's like a first-hand tutorial. I don't even feel like I was a co-pilot in a cockpit or I was in the front of the class. I was that chalkboard. I was the whiteboard being used as a conduit to explain this here lesson as each formula was broken down. So, first and foremost, let me extend peace, love, and blessings to you all. I miss y'all. It's been, like I said, way too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a few episodes. I might drop like a few segments in one episode or just 3 different episodes, but we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get to. Just to start bridging the gap, because it's nuts. We're looking at 2026, man. And it's still crazy to say that, even now as I'm sitting here in my office trying to process everything up to this point. So let me tell y'all about my summer. My summer, I don't even know if you can call it a summer. Like my oldest turned 21 this summer. Then I'm like, listen, I gotta have all my kids with me before this work grind. And we had a ball. And I learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot about them as they're getting older, how they mesh with each other, how they do alienate each other. And just our personalities, us being able to spend that time together, just the 5 of us. Mainly myself and the young 3. But it was something it was therapeutic. I needed that. I wanted that, I needed that. That was like a point of emphasis for me coming into this year as far as fatherhood. What are some of the ways I could stay present despite certain obstacles? How can I bridge that gap and just remind all of them, like, hey, I love you all. I'm here, whatever you need. Nothing is too big, nothing is too much. And how important their moments are to me. And that's like birthdays, dad walks homework, know how their day went. Like with Junior, do you need a ride to work? Do you need a ride home from work? How was work? It's just all of those intricate pieces of life when it comes to parenting. The lectures, the tough love, the patience, of course the grace. This journey has been crazy, man, to say the least, but it's one that I am here for. And I'm not gonna lie, I do have my days where my thoughts, we travel back, and it does hurt, man, that what I originally envisioned didn't come to fruition. But knowing what I know now, it does take a certain level of mental maturity, emotional maturity, stability, consistency for that. And maybe my fundamentals for me as a young man growing up should have been intentional. You know what I mean? But being 41 right now, just looking back and then just seeing a lot of things I am prone to, it's like, okay, I'm able to see it and then just try to make corrections, but also know the strides I made along this way. So it's not all bad, it just comes with its angst. What else happened in my summer? Work. I'm an area manager, cleaning company that is chaotic. And I feel like the week before the beginning of July, that's when everything kind of started to unravel. And then the avalanche hit. That's like from staffing issues, correcting work orders, the battle of the geographical nightmare where two accounts can be 51 minutes apart, but then 20 minutes apart. Like, it's just the traveling, the supplies, trying to teach, train, combative employees. Like, it was a strain, which it raised a red flag for me. So it's like, okay, I do need to take a vacation at some point to not only just decompress, but to recalibrate and recenter myself, see where I'm at. Where do I need to make changes? Where do I need to make improvements? Does everything I'm doing in my life at this moment serve my greater purpose? Serve what I'm trying to do? Am I serving my greater purpose? Am I in lockstep with whatever it is that I'm trying to do? And by hook or by crook, I stumbled into my vacation, which was October the 15th, that Wednesday. I go back on Monday the 27th. So here we are. And I have a top calendar for work and a bottom calendar for my personal. And I'm looking at them both. And to see how much time went by, I was like, oh, wow, okay. And again, just harkening back to the beginning of the year, in a dogfight for my life with the depression, dealing with the heartbreak and disappointment of the married life, things with the kids, having one source of income that was really like a part-time job, having to sell pieces of my wrestling figure collection. Then later on in the spring, we're going back. Yeah, in the spring, get into a car accident. Wasn't prepared for the extra expenses outside of the normal expenses from a car accident. Had to sell like basically the rest of that particular part of the collection. And it's like each part of that, it's like I took away from myself. It's like I thought that I was making stride. I took 2 steps forward. It's like I took 8 back. I will say, went to Miami for a couple days in the beginning of April for my cousin's birthday. Met him down there. Again, trying to get out of that funk. Trying to reinvigorate myself. Reinvent myself. Relocate that purpose for living. Like, I had to find that internal desire, that need to want to be here despite everything that has happened. Even still trying to process the loss of my granny, even though right now that's 2 years ago. Doesn't make it any easier. Because that was just different. Again, like I tell people, you caring for someone for those few years. 2020, started caring for her and Pops. He passed in 2021. And then her life expectancy kind of took a hit after that. And when she walked out of my house in March of 2023, the last time she was on her feet walking, the last time she ever talked. So from that point, I think it was March the 19th, a couple days after her mom's birthday, up until when she passed in June the 10th, 2023, all that time. And it's just watching her suffer. Couldn't do anything about it after I spent all that time prior solving just about all of her problems, making everything easier, just fighting that fight, and reached a point where I can't do anything. I just gotta watch, and I gotta trust the systems with her care, and they're failing. So just to still be in 2025, trying to process that at that point in time earlier this year was just like, I don't know, man. So even right now in October 2025, I'm just taking y'all back through bits and pieces of that, of my journey. I do find a healthy cry, a healthy sigh, a breakdown, because it's essential, it's needed, because that's tough, that's a long road. And a lot of that road I had to travel by myself. I had to pick myself up. And that's not getting grace from people. That's not getting patience. And while not getting love, those three intricate pieces, I had to give them to myself and pull away from other entities where I was trying to provide that, hoping I can get it in return. And that, even right now, that's something I'm still learning to work through. But I do ask the hard questions in hopes to create not only a solution, but a better way moving forward. So just sharing that little bit of my testimony, just even from this year, I do hope to inspire and provide hope to someone who feels hopeless, like it's the end of the road. Yeah, it might very well be. But you can start paving a whole new one. Because out of the old, something new must arise, right? I mean, that's how I look at it. And it's tough. You just got to take the lumps along the way. And you know he's going to make mistakes, going to make bad choices. But that's just what it is. That's just this thing called life. There's no blueprint. There's no easy way to do it. It is what it is. Each person is different. And therefore, their story will be. So how do you go about it? How do you choose to navigate it? It'll be solely on you. But it's not impossible. Got to figure out a way. You know, so. And like today, you know, I'm still trying to find peace and balance. Even like I know, like, the Cash Money versus No Limit versus is today. You know, and that's something awesome because those are things we grew up on. But then too, it's just like personal relationships with certain people. Like even in this journey, like you can't expect people to handle things the way you want them to or the way you would. But I would just hope that if there is whatever that level of whatever they said they have felt, that should be enough to at least be like, you know, this is either this or it's not. Again, that's the journey that we in, y'all. So, above all else, just want to sit in that, you know, hopefully that inspiration that you can finish your 2025 on a high note and just carry it into 2026. But we still got 2 months. 2 months and how many? Let's see, 4 days? 6? Before we even get there. But it'll be here before we know it. So peace and blessings, much love to you all. Until next time.